What's up, guys? I'm back with another video, and today I want to talk about Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. This card and the subsequent cards like Blackwing Assault and Masquerade are actually criminally underrated cards in the game. Um, it wasn't actually until this year where I actually really began to understand what these kind of cards actually do. I, for one, play Kashtira, so I play Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon quite often. However, like I said, I really didn't start to appreciate this card until recently. I think the boon for any deck that can play a card like Flare Metal, which applies so much pressure, can actually be enough for a board. The perks, I mean, granted, the three examples I have here, they'll have their own benefits. Masquerade's super easy to bring out. It is also an extra body. Assault can do even more damage and can nuke the board, and Flare Metal can't be destroyed by card effects. Um, if any deck has room to play any of these type of cards and you don't need that extra deck space, I highly recommend actually playing these cards. Um, I can't tell you how many games I've cheesed and won because of Metal Dragon not being able to be destroyed. So it's immune to cards like Raigeki and Dark Hole and Lightning Storm. Um, and if you're not sure what to end on, this is a pretty safe bet. Ending on double Flare Metal Dragon is actually enough to win a lot of games. Makes it where your opponent plays less, and it's not very easy to deal with. And of course, if you play this in regular Red Eyes, it's also much better there too. But I digress. I think these cards are inherently toxic for the game. However, I think if you are looking for something that's not only good in time, but just really good and solid in general, I highly recommend that these cards are come up and get played. Are they a little degenerate? Yes, they are 100% degenerate, but to be fair, you can make a case for most things in this game as being broken and degenerate. But if you find that your deck sometimes struggles to make a proper end board, give these kind of cards a glance. If you can make Blackwinged Assault Dragon, make it. If you can make Masquerade, make it. If you can make Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, make it. Um, Downside, you were either going to lose the game in the first place or you weren't, or this gives you an unexpected win. But for any Cashier players, um, if the ratio is 1 or 2, uh, I personally prefer playing 2 because the second one can come up quite often. But uh, I think if we're just looking at cards and the value that they give, Flare Metal is undeniably good. Personally, it's my favorite one of all these. I'm more of an Xyz guy than anything else, but yeah, if you ever want to play a card that is deceivingly good, uh, these three right here. And of course, obviously, for many, I think the reason it can be underlooked at times is because people look at cards like this and go, it's only good if you play duplicates, which they're not wrong. If you can't out a triple Blackwing Assault Dragon board, you take 2100 damage each time you try to play a card or do something. If you try to do something with Masquerade, you pay 12. And it's really good against combo decks, so mid range decks actually get to thrive quite a bit. And, if you play Double Flare, it's 1000, so your opponent can only make 8 interactions unless they got more life points. The important thing I want to account, though, is that I don't think it's a very good way of looking at it. You don't. So I say play multiple because it comes up, but it's not necessary. You can easily get away, again, for example, playing one Flare Metal Dragon. Um, the reason I think they're deceiving because a lot of people that I know say cards like that are only good in duplicates if you can get more than one on the board is because of just the small amount of damage they do. However, I just think it's a very bad way of looking at it. Uh, Especially when you look at the trio of cards, they each have their own benefits and perks and their own downsides. For example, Flare Metal's pretty much just locked into level 7s. The Blackwinged is a synchro card, and then the other one's a fusion. So I get the mentality there, but I think it's a bad way of looking at it. I think even just placing one of these down will apply so much pressure. If your opponent can't out it, it will change the way they play because these cards, in fact, can kill for game. And again, Flare Metal is my favorite because it can't be destroyed, and even putting down one of this is still enough to really devastate. And I think the important thing to take away from these cards is unless they don't have an immediate out to this, they have to play their turn entirely differently. Cards like this can give you a singular extra turn, and that's sometimes all you need. So if you're looking for cards that if you have space for and you want to get extra pushing and benefits from, and you just want to be able to apply pressure in a very unique way, or once again have something for time rolls because time rolls in Yu-Gi-Oh suck. I highly recommend cards like Flare Metal, Assault Dragon, and Masquerade. I'm not saying that they're not degenerate, but they are exceptional alternate win conditions. So yeah, that's all. Thank you for listening.